Hey everyone, I'm Egoqueenalexis, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to Dark Heresy. In the last episode, I got grilled and turned into an Inquisitor. It was
Woo!
pretty neat. But here's Victor with a proper recap.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vicky the GM, and welcome back to the Queen's Court. When we last left our heroes, the grizzled chastener handed Rosalina a gene-locked data slate, which she promptly opened. Inside, she found cartographic data from a navigational hololith. It just so happened that Inquisitor Farnoff had one in her basement. Walking through the basement, glimpsing the water cast tow inside one of the stasis cages, Farnoff lit up her hololith with a technical kick. The data from the slate indicated a planet within the Rubicon sub, named Vaxi, but was sparse on other details. Before leaving planetside, Rosalina and Farnoff entrusted Interrogator Volric to investigate any further signs of corruption on Aventine. The Oath-Unspoken broke into the Immaterium on its way to Vaxi, with a warband training and honing skills. At the Vaxi system, it more resembled a graveyard than an Imperial holding, with hulks of Imperial vessels covering the orbit of Vaxi like a shell. Boarding the Corvus Blackstar, the warband prepared for the worst, arming up in case of hostilities. The flight to the surface was a perilous one, Rosalina narrowly evading chunks of debris the size of Lehman Russ tanks. The surface looked no better than Vaxi's orbital space. Ruins of hat blocks stood like emptied-out husks, and everything was covered in dunes of ash dust. Just to underline the grim bleakness of this dead world, when Abraxas stepped out of the Corvus, his feet made a crunching sound in the ash. There were bones everywhere, in various states of decay. It was here that Inquisitor Hunt's signal beacon was coming from, and Lynn was easily able to lock it in on her auspex. After walking in the foul rain and silence, they found Hunt sitting on the edge of a cliff face made from a fallen hat block. He stared over the horizon of destruction, explaining to anyone that cared to listen that centuries ago he had borne witness to the folly and hubris of the Inquisition and the reason for the mass exodus of Inquisitors from the Ascalon sector. Hunt then led them underground, where the destruction was not quite as total, into a granite-black amphitheater which contained 3 thrones carved from the rock and a life-sustaining sarcophagus. Inside the sarcophagus resided the third Inquisitor, Gustav Grimm of the Ordo Malleus. The trio of Inquisitors took their seats, except for Gustav, who just kept floating in the liquid, and an hour-long interrogation of Rosalina Lockwood began. Nothing was left unquestioned, from her history to morals to philosophical leanings. After much deliberation, Hunt declared Rosalina Lockwood as a fully ranking Inquisitor of His Imperial Majesty's Holy Inquisition. And there is a small applause coming from the gathered throne agents and acolytes that do a poor job of filling up the seats of the amphitheater.
Yeah, White, why can't you fill out more seats? You're an American.
Damn it, White. So, Hunt and Farnoff rise from their seats and approach you, Rosalina. Hunt holds out his hand to shake yours.
I will take it and return the gesture, bowing my head and thanking him.
Congratulations, Ren. He smiles. Damn it, Mope. I knew it. I knew that was coming.
How could you not?
How could I not?
I'm gonna look towards Hunt and just say, how is she, by the way?
She rests, as always. Hunt steps to the side, and Farnoff walks up to you to do the same.
I'll once again bow my head and return the gesture, thanking
No need for that. You are a peer among us now.
Sorry.
Don't
Force
worry.
of habit.
It will take some getting used to. Just don't let it go to your head. You hear the loud hailer from the sarcophagus speak up and says, I would congratulate you in person, but I can't.
Thanks regardless.
Do not make me regret this.
I assure you that it won't. That you won't.
So, congratulations, Rosalina. You're now an Inquisitor. What is your first act as Inquisitor?
Yeah, fuck. Sorry.
You're always
Thanks.
I'm sorry, that was too funny. I'm gonna look at Hunt and just say, this world, it has been ravaged. This was a fault of your own. My world, too, has been ravaged.
Not quite as badly, but I take your point.
I have an investigation to do here prior to potentially leaving, returning to my sector, making sure everything there is under control. It's going dark lately. Astropathic relays haven't come from that sector for a while.
From Provoska?
Yes.
It is not the only one. Whole sectors across the Segmentum Obscurus have had communication problems as of late. Something is stirring the warp. It almost sounds like Hunt is trying to keep that sort of talk away from Gustav's audio receptors.
I'm gonna look towards Gustav and look back. He's a strange one. I'm saying this quiet enough just for Hunt to hear.
That is true, but he's also an Inquisitor, which means that he has the absolute authority to do whatever he wants. So, it is ours to question him, but we try not to.
Very well.
This investigation, it's to do with the heretic authorities, correct?
Yes.
Well then. Then I wish you the Emperor's blessing on your first mission. True
Hunt,
mission.
I request one thing from you.
Name it. I'll try.
The acolytes that served with me. Thalia Aristide and Thalia Antiphor. Explorator Tarvok. And Explorator Tarvok are to remain with me.
I see no issue with that. They're yours. I'm always on the lookout for new acolytes.
These two have served me well. But I may also require some additional muscle. Would you mind Warner following me?
Jericho? He is one of my most senior acolytes. If you can see use for him, then yes, he is more than welcome to join you.
He'll be returned to you, of course, after this investigation is over.
Of course. Please try to keep him in one piece.
As you wish. And I'll bow my head and look towards... is Warner's in the room, right?
Yeah,
He is probably has a seat like everyone else.
he's just doing some maintenance to Clementine's aspects around.
He's holding a combi tool, makes one wrong move and
Dog grabs it.
Yeah. Alright. Almost there. And one more screw. Perfect. Alright, good girl.
Oh. And Inquisitor Farnoff.
Yes?
Request of you.
We shall see.
Might I borrow your acolyte, Len?
Farnov is silent for a moment as she glances over between Lynn and Rosalina.
My explorator is currently occupied, and I need somebody of knowledge.
I am hesitant to give her up. She is one of my few remaining ones.
I'm gonna stay quiet, but look at him too.
In exchange, I'll give you one of my informants.
Oh? Then who might that be?
What was Nooble's character's name?
Larissa.
Larisian.
The Serena?
Yes.
My. You do have friends in high places.
Used to.
There is she grins from one side of her mouth when she says this.
Is that a yes, I hear?
Lynn?
I have no objections. It's ultimately your decision either way.
Would you care to join Inquisitor Lockwood?
I suppose if she needs the assistance, I should go.
Then you have your answer, Farnov says back to Rosalina.
Thank you. No, I must be off.
Now I get the announcement for the stream? Come on, YouTube. Get good. Stop being a scrub. So, as you are about to leave, the rest of the actually it's mostly Gustav's acolytes and agents walk up to you and offer their hands to actually no, they don't offer their hand. They bow before you before walking over to their master's side. One of them looks to be a quite torn up individual in the physical sense, not the emotional sense. His chest seems to be covered in scars, and what little clothing he is wearing seems to, well, not protect him at all. What is the perhaps most unnerving article of clothing is a gigantic spiked iron collar that points towards his face. Inquisitor, my respect on your ascension. And he bows.
Thank you. May your penitence end swiftly.
I hope not.
That is the correct answer.
And he nods his head and moves towards Gustav. The man behind him actually, what's the quote I'm looking for? How do you describe big people in Game of Thrones night? Or Song of Ice? An uncommonly large man taps walks closer to you, using what appears to be a large warhammer as a walking stick. He is clad from, I say head to toe, but his bald head has only an iron circlet around it. The rest is covered in thick plate mail. Knight, want to handle this one?
Oh, we're doing this? I was not prepared. He says, greetings, Rosalina. Congratulations on your ascension.
Thank you. And you are?
Kiris Tall, warrior priest of the God Emperor.
You have my respect.
I am humbled. May the golden throne shine its light on you, Inquisitor, and may your enemies fall swiftly before your blade.
They all have.
And
Ave Imperator.
And he walks away. There's a third and final member. This one is clad in the Crusader pattern armor of the Ecclesiarchy, and he simply nods his head before walking past you, saying nothing.
Did I feel any of them for being psychic?
You may roll a Psyniscience to check.
Wow, 1 second. Psyniscience.
Boop.
No.
Nope. Not one.
Too many
Not
souls
A1.
not at rest here.
Mm-hmm. So, now is the time.
Hunt.
Yes?
And she's gonna turn away from him and just say thank you.
The Emperor protects.
All hands, make for the Black Star.
And with that, you trudge back up the way you came before returning back to the surface of Vaxi and the interminable rain.
Can I collect a sample of ash from the ground?
Yes, you can. That is quite easy.
I'm gonna keep it as he looks at it and he's kind of whispers to himself, the price of judgment and the price of law. And he kind of puts it in a bag and kind of just slips it onto it, kind of starts putting a rope through it to put around his neck.
As you make your way back to the Corvus Blackstar, the sun of Vaxi finally breaks through the cloud cover, and a beam of light shines overhead.
Seems like a good sign. Abraxas, what do you think of all of this?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, what was that? You cut out a bit for me.
What do you think of all of this?
Well, for one, congratulations to you. I'm not too sure what this will mean in the future for you, but I've just been trying to think, and he kind of gestures to the landscape around everyone. What could happen that would make it worth doing this to a planet? Like it's no worth to anyone now.
No, it isn't. But that is the price of heresy.
Curious.
One man with a dangerous idea can bring down an entire planet.
An entire sector, really.
You are correct, Lynn.
Well, yes, after the event, the fleet and militaries available in the sector were quite depleted.
Something all it could take to save a planet is one murder.
Yes. One action is all it takes to condemn a world. Be aware of yours.
I'd say the same to you, Rosalina, with the power you now wield.
Yeah. You are right. I will try my hand to be gentle. Now, let's get off this rock.
As you board the Corvus Black Star, the engines are fired up, and you lift off back into the void. And I require Rosalina to make and operate Aeronautica, get past the debris field that is above Vaxi.
Oh, I am good.
With a newfound focus, Rosalina is able to juke and jive and jink. Aha. Damn, I only need 2 more and I've got a dodgeball movie.
God damn it.
And before you know it, you arrive. Whoops. Did not mean to do that.
Oh, we made it all the way to Forley's.
Well, I had the player tab in the wrong place. So, you're back aboard the Oath Unspoken in your private hangar bay.
Servitor, make a Vox call.
Affirmative.
Hell for Thalia and Sephor.
Beep. Beep. Thalia picks up.
Hello,
Thalia, this is Inquisitor Rosalina Lockwood.
Inquisitor. Well, is there some assistance you need? Should we send you a...
From here on out, you're under my protection.
I see. Then this is actually official. This is not a cover.
No, this is official.
And what do you plan to do now? If we can discuss it on this channel.
Meet me in person.
Alright.
I'll come to you.
Right. I'll be here.
Alright, and with that, I will make my way through the ship and meet up with Thalia and Sephor.
Where was Thalia at that moment?
Talia probably would actually be in her and Aristide's quarters. That's probably where she spends most of her time now.
True. And Rosalina walks in. She looks no different, but there is a steeliness to her eyes.
Yeah, steeliness. Somebody stole them.
Oh, you're a butt.
I'll walk in and just say, Thalia,
Yeah,
you
I'll
know,
hobble out.
you know what we've been through.
I do.
Would you like to forget all of it?
She's gonna back up a little and think for a minute. I think it's best if I keep the experiences I have. Because even if they were unpleasant, they made me who I am now.
You do know that I have to leave an agent with you.
I understand. Well, actually, would I not be your agent in this case?
And I'm just going to point to your stomach and just say, you are currently still out of commission.
That's true. But I think I'll be able to resume duty sooner rather than later.
Very well. I will leave you with the memories for now. If I deem at a time that it is too great for you, I will remove them. Is that understood?
I'm gonna give you a long stare and say, it is.
I'm doing this for your protection.
Right.
And I'll bow my head and exit the room.
So, where does Rosalina go next?
Well, she's gonna try to find the captain and get him to go to the planet she needs.
Well, Rosalina walks to the bridge of the Oath Unspoken, where she finds Aristide Hansafor sitting in his command throne. He swivels it backwards, face you. Interrogator. I trust your journey plan aside was fruitful.
No longer am I an interrogator. It would seem that my superiors saw fit to promote me.
Oh?
It's Inquisitor now.
Roll scrutiny for me.
Oh, dang it. Hang on, that's security.
You see Aristide's left arm, which was resting on one of the arms of the throne chair, the command throne, I should say. He grips it slightly harder when you mention your Ascension.
Does this worry you?
If the Inquisition did not worry me, then truly I would be lost.
I'm putting Thalia under my protection.
Now that I do appreciate.
I did want to talk to you about something.
Oh, of course, I'm here to serve.
Thalia has experiences that go beyond the mortal scape. Things that even you couldn't possibly understand.
Aristide remains silent.
Does she suffer from nightmares?
That is a good question. Mope, does Thalia Anzafor suffer from nightmares?
Well, considering I'm dealing with an Inquisitor trying to mind wipe me, nope, absolutely.
Well, actually, I need to check something real quick, because I think she might have, what's it called?
I think she literally does have it, yes.
Let me see. Here's Thalia. She's under the Oath Unspoken. It is... Yes! She has a minor disorder, horrific nightmares. Now, Aristide would know about this, but this is going to be whether Aristide decides to tell the truth. I need to check something. Ooh. Aristide replies, and this is going to be... man, Turns out, having an Inquisitor player really changes the math in this game. He will say, "No, not that I've noticed."
Rosalie's gonna give a sigh of relief. Good. Keep an eye on her. Any outbreaks, anything, you let me know.
Of course, you'll be the first I'll speak to.
Thank you. Now, I need to go to this world.
Alright. So you tell him.
Yep, it's Farnoff's world. Right?
Aventine?
What's it?
That's Aventine.
Yeah, but was that where we were supposed to go?
No,
Help me. That would be great.
You mean Forlis?
Why would I want to go to Forlis?
Because you told me earlier you wanted to?
That's at the end of Quinn's Court, Victor.
Oh, damn it. I thought it was at the end of this.
No, we're going to hunt the Astartes.
That's true.
Having a crack shot with us might not be a bad idea, though.
You mean having Morano?
Yeah.
Well, Heresy does light up the navigational hololith.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave this up to a willpower test. If I fail, we're going to Forlis.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Alexis.
You can't fate point a successful test, I don't think. Let me actually check that.
Whilst Alexis, you may fail your willpower test. Rosalina has succeeded.
Yep.
Get ready.
I need to check fate points.
That's why whenever I flip a coin, I always flip the coin and then go with whatever I wanted to win.
Let me see. Fate points.
Babe,
Here you go.
I'm not gonna re-roll it.
Just checking. Oh, you can re-roll a test. It can be, which means you can re-roll a successful one. Just checking.
Alright, at this point I assume that my acolytes are standing around me.
Yep.
Yes, you can.
Lynn actually probably will leave your presence unless you told her to.
I mean, that's up to her. I never told her to go away or anything, just...
Then she would be hovering silently, waiting for you to recall upon.
Alright. What do we think our next course of action should be?
Well, the reports I got said that, and I find this hard to believe, traitorous angels?
Heretic Astartes, yes.
So that wasn't an exaggeration. It wasn't just an Ogren in power armor or nothing, was it?
No, this was the legit thing.
Throne preserve us. That's unnatural, isn't it? I thought they were just stories. How can an angel of the Imperium fall to the great enemy like that?
You'd be amazed what's more than mere stories.
I suppose that's true. Well, if that is our quarry, I will stand by you, Rosalina.
It is. We need to put these things out before they cause any more problems to the sector.
Yeah, we're probably going to need some bigger ordnance, too. piercing power armor's no easy deal.
I leveled a building at them and they still escaped. I knew Astartes were tough, but I didn't think they were that tough.
Right. Gassing them won't work, I don't think. Them helmets look, from what I understand, are pretty sturdy.
Lynn, what can you tell us about Astartes?
Well, they have a fused skeletal structure on top of 2 hearts. That would be the easiest way to destroy one, would be to simultaneously destroy both hearts. But that would require heavy ordnance, something like a melta weapon or a power fist. Especially if they were wearing their armor, in which case it might not even. In which case we might want to have a back. So if we could requisition 3 or 4 melta guns, that could help us kill one.
I have an idea. Aubrey, is your order still functioning on the... what was her world again?
Asuar.
Are the Sisters of Battle still stationed on Asuar?
Of course, my Lord Inquisitor.
And I'm talking a battle conclave.
We are spread throughout Ascalon, but the bulk of the convent is still on Asuar.
We can get a battalion of sisters. Or if anything, 1 squad. Celestians might be able to do it, or Dominions.
I think it's also important to point out the fact that whatever action we take, we have to also consider the idea that our enemy has predicted and acted ahead of that. At best we're overly cautious. At worst, we meet them on equal footing.
This is true. We might want to take a stop at Forelise.
What could Forelise give us that would help in this situation, other than buy them more time?
She has a point. The longer we take, the more time they have to prepare for us.
But we still have to plan as if they know what we're planning.
And how does one do that, exactly?
It takes a high level of discipline.
That doesn't... I don't reckon that answers my question.
Well, we have to naturally look at things. If we go and get the Order of Sisters, which is in a way predictable based on your history, Inquisitor Lockwood, then they may have already predicted the possibility of this action, and when they see the sisters, or they get some sort of compromise, they'll undoubtedly have some counteraction prepared for that. So, we have to consider the perspective of, if I was a heretic Sardes, and I knew that an Inquisitor was coming after me and might bring sisters back, what counteractions might I take?
Find reinforcements of their own.
That would be likely, but Inquisitor, I believe you mentioned that they don't have many reinforcements. You said it was a relatively small cult.
Yes.
Which makes me consider the quarry might flee. Do you know why they were there in the first place?
Some type of ritual.
Do you think the location is necessary to the ritual?
Possibly.
If not, when they see us come in force, they'll likely flee. Or set up some sort of trap that would work on a larger force.
So perhaps a small strike team instead.
Possibly, but that brings the danger that's obvious when trying to fight heretic Astartes in, well, any sort of Astartes with anything but superior odds. We could attempt to set up traps ourselves, but I fear that our enemies may not react the way we anticipate.
Thinking about it, if they would predict Rosalina bringing in a battalion of sisters and have backup of their own, wouldn't skipping that leave us outnumbered and outgunned more so?
If we don't bring the sister?
Right, because if they're expecting her to bring a battalion and they're set up for a battalion, then we might need to bring a battalion, or because how are we going to stand on to battalion-sized forces?
Well, it begs the question if they're even capable of fighting, or if, as she's brought up, they're just going to flee.
That is my point. I think that if we bring the battalion, they'll simply flee. Unless we have some confirmation that they need the site.
Seems the big thing we're missing here is intelligence.
Agreed.
Abraxas, how's your infiltration?
It's how I've stayed alive.
Do you think that you can get down to a cult?
It wouldn't be the first time.
That might be the best course of action. Scout them out, see what they have, go in and eliminate them.
I like the sound of it.
A quick surgical strike will do it. They may be Astartes, but they're still human and suffer the same weaknesses humans do.
Aristide calls out to you and says, Inquisitor Lockwood, I require a destination.
Do we actually know where we're going?
Ha.
Do you?
That planet where where we found them, where Inquisitor Farnoff was from.
17?
Yes, that is Aventine.
So I guess we're heading back there.
Well, there's that. Foralis is on the way.
Well, it sounds like we might as well stop there then.
Well, it has actually... No, Alexis already rolled the willpower.
Yeah?
Does she say Aventine as a final answer?
Yeah, I will.
Alright, so... Once again, the warp engine of the Oath Unspoken fires up and cracks through into the Immaterium. So, does anyone on this journey want to do anything specific, or do we simply hop, skip, and jump to Aventine?
Me and White had something planned.
Alright.
Abraxas is gonna head down to the training area.
Where Jericho's already mid he's shoulder checking a whatever it's called, punching bag, working on his legendary thunderous charge.
Like Abraxas is gonna, walk up, strut up quietly while this, watch him, hurt this poor punching bag. Let you just, clear his throat.
As he did the bag one more check and says, "Oh, hey there, Skin. Good to see you."
Good to see you as well. I was wondering if I could ask a favor of you.
You may.
So as you heard in there, I'm apparently about to be thrown into one man versus a cult of crazies and possibly, two fallen angels.
Yeah, you don't owe anybody any money, do you?
I don't think so. Honestly, I haven't really dealt with currency too much in my time.
Fair enough.
So, I assume that you have dealt with no shortage of rabble in your time.
I've cracked a few skulls, stepped on a few snakes in my day.
Internally
Oh.
screams.
He is an Arbite.
Arizona anger intensifies. Ree.
Damn it, Riley.
I'll be right back.
Mob does not like this character, I don't think.
Oh, this is great. Oh, holy crap.
Okay.
Oh,
He is the top, so that's kind of his job.
You know, it's really sad
But
with them making my Herald on Steed into legend. They stepped on Snack.
they did.
oh no.
It was literally the only demon that got stuffed into legends.
Yeah.
I
So-
hate it.
And at the same time, they put out the cop gang for Necromunda.
Terrible.
I see how it is, Games Workshop.
I definitely see how it is. Don't worry, I'll just run it as the Demon Prince now.
But like when they put it into legends, they buffed it.
There's
Did
one.
they?
Yep.
They made the claws do more damage and some other stuff.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
It sucked. But,
But anyway.
yeah, back to this. It's like, look, I'm no stranger to murder, but I have to admit this is a little more than I've run into before. And as you've probably seen, I have a few shortcomings of mine, namely this, and he like pulls down the sleeve to show off, being well thin. And I don't say I'm exactly the straightest shot when it comes to firefights. And
He looks at you with a blank stare and says, "So you're trying to get laid?"
It's like no.
Because I mean, we can go to the. Oh,
I want to be able to knock down rabble, and I want to get better at shooting, and I feel like you were the person to go to for that.
all right. Well, he kind of says, "We'll start off easy. What's your diet consist?
Pardon?
Your diet? What are you eating?"
I'm not really focused on that. Just
Corpse crackers.
what I get my hands on, really. Funny enough, I didn't have to eat for most of my life.
Right. Well, next time you're heading for grub, you need to get you some red meat, build up some protein. That'll give you the energy you need for the workouts. We're gonna work on your upper body first, trying to get you build up some muscle mass. Not enough so you can, not too much because you don't want to inhibit your ability to slink in the shadows, but enough so you can carry yourself if need be. As for your shooting, we're going to work on your grip strength first. Biggest thing that throws off aim in a firefight is recoil. Get a strong grip on your weapon, you'll be able to shoot straighter.
Prax is kind of standing there. Most of the workout related, just kind of flew over his head. And he's just kind of like, it sounds good.
All right. Well, every other day of this trip, we'll meet here at 0800 hours Imperial Standard Time, and we'll get to work bulking you up a bit. And then after half the trip has passed, we'll start working on your shooting.
Alrighty. Sounds good to me. Now if you'll excuse me, there's someone else I need to go see.
He nods and he goes back to working the back.
Alright, now what Praxis is going to do is he's going to try and, find where Lynn is.
Lynn is currently in the archives, going through the endless tedium of creating her own mental card catalog.
Is that where Rosalina is?
Probably. They are studying
she-
together.
That's true. They are usually. I have a feeling that while Rosalina is busy learning stuff, Lynn is doing her own thing while there's downtime.
True.
And so Brax is just sort of going to walk and notice Rosaline is there, sort of stop short a bit, and then just sort of gently knock on the wall.
I'll turn and look at you and say, "Oh, Abraxas, is there something you need?"
Yes, I was wondering if I could have a word with you, Lynn.
I suppose lead the way.
Alright, and he's just gonna head over while this sort of trying to figure out how to word things. So, do you recall how when we first ran into each other, you couldn't recall having any sort of record on me, correct?
Yes, quite interesting. I have some theories, but I have no facts, as you know.
Well, I'm not gonna bog you down with details, but you probably assumed that, well, for most of my life, I haven't, lived within the Imperial fold.
That's what I guessed, and I assumed you were picked up in some sort of raid. Either a failed one of your own, or one of theirs.
Well, is it one of theirs? But regardless, it's as long as I've been among you in this ship and the places we've gone, just almost everything I've run into and encountered has been no less alien to me than that city of the Eldar we were in, and just like I've spent my days, skulking, observing, watching everyone, trying to pick up what I can, but just I haven't made much progress on my own. Well, we're really quite familiar with studying, and you've been aiding Rosalina, so I was just trying to. I want to know about this galaxy that we're in. Can you show me?
Of course I can. I can show you so many things.
I can show you the world.
God damn it.
Heresy's below. I don't know.
Me.
But, I'll look back at you and say, well, I have my scheduled times for Rosalina. If you would like to come in either slightly before or after, I can set you both on some. And then, of course, I can drill you during. I think the archives aboard the ship are more than capable. I doubt you'll need any esoteric advanced text.
Just the time we have, just the basics I need to know, at least about Imperium and such.
Quite. I think it might be good for your health to learn the proper etiquette within their borders, our borders.
Yeah. So it hasn't been clear throughout this whole conversation. He's kind of just been slightly embarrassed of having to admit that he hasn't been able to figure this all out on his own.
I don't think Lynn would even register. She's too much of a nerd. Let me check what her fellowship is.
Freaking nerd.
No, fellowship 44. She'd be pretty good at recognizing. She'd look at you and say, no one's perfect. We're all only human. So there's no reason that you should feel anything other than proud of being able to overcome your ego and ask for help.
He gets slightly dumbfounded at being called out like that for a bit and just breathes up and then just relaxes like, you're right. You're right.
It was a compliment in the end. It's not. She doesn't actually say that.
No. Alright, this all sounds good to me.
Of course. Do you intend to stay? Or do you intend to go home?
Home isn't much of a place to go back to.
What was it like?
Weird. Sorry.
He just gets sit there and try to figure out how much he should really say.
It's totally up to you.
No, he just... I'm just gonna... yeah. I'm just gonna roll a dice. If it's even, he'll say the truth. If it's odd, he's gonna hide stuff. And roll 20 is being slow for some reason. Okay, never mind. He's just gonna say if roll 20 is gonna be dumb. It's like, well, oh well, screw it, too late for you, roll 20. So he's just gonna sit and just sort of fumble with his fingers a bit. It very much wasn't a typical planet. Well, as you know, we're very much in the normal realm of space, and when we're traveling in the ship, we go through the immaterium. This planet, it was different. It was as if both types of space were there at the same time, if that makes sense.
It does. She's gonna skeptically look around and say, as much as that can, anyway. She's gonna look down with some curiosity before looking back at you. Were there entities?
Yes, of all shapes, sizes, demeanors, both delights and terrors to look upon.
And this is what you came to consider normal as a child.
Normal as anything can be if you grow up around it, I assume.
How old were you when you first learned what the God Emperor was?
That's hard to say. All I can really tell you is that, well, I was already a man at that point.
Well, I certainly wouldn't let most people know that.
I'm sorry, Abraxas is going all, you think the warp your ally? You immediately adopted it. Sorry.
It's like,
I was born in it. Sorry, keep going, joke's old.
Yeah, I've sort of picked up on that after telling Rosalina about it. Her reaction was an interesting one.
Whatever your opinions on it, I would suggest whichever ones you voice be the status quo.
I think you're right on that. It's very curious how people react to all of that around here.
Most of them honestly believe it. Makes it easier.
I don't know if I could be comfortable hiding behind a lie like that.
Well, the God Emperor isn't a lie.
I don't know much about this emperor that everyone brings up.
I certainly would never even put those two words together. If I wasn't trusted company and you weren't in the company that you have, well, it could be considered heresy. And perhaps you've heard what the Imperium does to punish heresy.
Yeah, that's the reason I've come to you. I have to admit I'm a bit cautious about misstepping myself.
I'm understanding, but don't mistake me as not being a witch hunter myself. I just am aware that your intentions aren't to commit heresy.
Precisely.
Is Rosalina within hearing range of any of this?
No, I assume they left.
Yeah.
Fair
I
enough.
thought we
Just
were
checking. Are you in just another area of the archive then?
I think we were just kind of, just, I don't know, wandering about.
I'm gonna say you went further into the archive, away from
Okay.
Rosalina. Which, speaking of which, I need the two of you to roll an awareness test for me.
Ooh, gotcha.
Ooh, Lynn made it.
I think since she made it, I won't bother re-rolling it.
Yes. So, as the two of you are discussing the relative normative nature of being born on a demon world, Lynn, your eye is drawn past Abraxas, where you see in between two large tome, someone seemed to have slipped some sort of card into in between the two.
Okay. I'll wait. I'm not going to give any sign of it. And I'm going to wait until I'm done talking to Abraxas and then go get it.
All right.
Alright.
Carry on.
Let's see, we left off on knowing I'm not trying to commit heresy, so just like,
Yeah, I said, even though you committed heresy, I know you didn't mean to, so I'm not going to do anything about it.
right. Well, this. Glad to see that coming to you is appearing to be the right idea.
Yes, but most aren't as understanding as me.
That much I've seen all too well.
So, be careful when you tread on such topics.
Most definitely. Well, that's about the sum of it. All this in the time of our trip. Whenever you're done tutoring Rosalina, I'll just slip in. Sounds good.
I'm sure if we segment the starts, I can juggle the both of you easily enough.
Alright, many thanks. And then he's gonna just walk off.
You're welcome. And then after he walks off and I'm satisfied, I'll look through a few more books before I finally go over and nonchalantly take out the card. Actually, I'll open the book to where the card is shielding it, and then take a look down at it.
As you read on the card, it seems to be. It reads, "From Tarvok to Rosalina," and it merely says "parting gift," and there's a number written on it, and you recognize that it is a shelf, a row, and a specific book.
Alright, let's keep nonchalantly looking around. I'm just gonna pass it off like I'm looking through shelves before I eventually make my way over to it.
As you do, the book that you're looking for, the book that it turns out to be, is a Onaker Doomcrawler repair manual. And as you flick through it, you find a data spool.
What does the status spool contain?
A data spool is just it's a data transfer device.
So it's a memory card.
Pretty much, it's a 40K SD card.
I suppose I can't plug it into the OSPEC.
No, unfortunately not.
I guess
you're gonna have to go find a HoloLens projector.
we're back in a 1978 computer era. Alright,
Oh God!
I'll conclude the lesson with Rosalina and then go find a HoloLens to look at it.
Like that book has a kill count.
Jeez.
That's funny.
It is.
It's my ironbound tome. I've killed like 4 people with that thing.
But let's find a hololith and let's plug this data spool in and see what it's got.
All right. So you walk to the edge of the enginarium, where you are able to find a Mechanica shrine, which is currently deserted, but there is a hololith in the center of the room. And as you insert the data spool, the hololith seems to whir and sputter. I'm going to have to ask you to roll a tech use to try and figure out what's bothering the machine spirit. Nice. As the hololith sputters on, you find the place where the disturbance is taking place, and you nonchalantly kick it. And wouldn't you know it, the whirring stops, and a bright red image pops up on the hololith.
And what is this image?
The image is that. Roll for me a demonology test.
Oh my.
What now?
Yeah, this is Tarvok. Tarvok seems to have left something behind.
Apparently.
Yeah, must have done it during one of his blackouts.
And what is that?
Well, you reckon the hololithic image that is spinning before you is a circle with it's a runic circle with chaos runes written in the middle of the outside ring.
Wow.
And I need you to roll a willpower test for me, please.
Can I voluntarily fail?
Nope.
Aw.
Too bad.
So sad. You make it.
I'm gonna take that out, that data spool out, put that away, and then I'm gonna go give Rosalina this book.
However, before you let the hololith, before you unplug the data spool and the hololith drops away, you can see that down below it there are notes in the hololithic margins, so to speak, for lack of a better word. And it seems that Tarvok had gone through the summoning circle and deciphered the destination.
What is the destination?
The destination. Hold on, I need to find a book. I had. Here we go. What was the name of it? It is here. I'll type it in to Roll20. It is this. Damn it. Caps lock. Why do you fail me? There you go. And this and boop. There you go.
My. Alright. I'm gonna go find Rosalina. But before I do that, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. So give me like 3 minutes.
Alright. Does anyone else want to do anything?
Well, at this point, Rosalina would just be sparring in the cages with anyone willing to take up a blade.
Alright. Does anyone...
Yes.
Does Jericho want a piece of that action?
Hell yeah, he does. He's heard. Look, he's heard stories for years about this woman. He wants to see if there's any truth to it.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. So, Rosalina is, as Jericho walks up to the training cage that Rosalina is currently in, she is currently going 3 against 1 with the armsmen, and she is giving it as good as they get, she's giving it back as good as they are giving. There we go. Alexis, roll for me a weapon skill test.
Watch me fail this.
Nope.
No.
No, she does not. In fact, with with 3 swift steps and swings of the practice sword, she is able to disarm all 3 of them in a row.
I've returned. I'm gonna go find Rosalina.
She's doing some sparring. You'll hop in as soon as they get through that.
Okay.
Take a wild guess. Rosalina studies and fights. That's her life.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, now or never.
So, what does Jericho do?
So as she knocks the last guy on his posterior, he says, "That's good fighting. Ready to graduate to the real fighters?"
What, you?
I'd like to think I'm decent.
Fine. Hop in.
And he will grab a training club. And do they have training shields, or is it?
They do indeed have training shields for those who wish to use them, train with them.
Yeah, he will grab like a training club and a shield and kind of bash it against each other and kind of hop in the cage.
Sword and shield. Interesting, but slow.
Never found myself winning with any fancy footwork, but there's few folks I've been up against who can match me muscle for muscle.
Muscle-wise, you're probably correct.
Rosalina, you take a wild guess that the specific style that he uses has a very has as simplistic name as it is, and it's the style is merely called bullying.
You find my style to be rather unorthodox. And she takes up a second sword.
Yeah. Never had anyone dance against me before.
Well, let's get to it.
All right.
Babe, no, you've done the first thing. For anyone that cares to listen, anyone who cares that's listening, we had in the Viking club that I'm in, there's a name for people that dual wield. We call them free kills.
Ha.
Carry on. I've told this story before, but I like saying it.
Jeez.
Well,
she does dual wield. That's her thing.
Yeah, I know, but I laugh at the. No, I chuckle at the. I should say, not laughing.
Before I got into this, I probably should have looked at my weapon skill. It's not that impressive. Uh-oh.
I mean, it's not bad, right?
No, and he will take up a stance and say, "All right, put him up."
All right, so 2 of you roll for me an opposed weapon skill test.
Oh, for the love of the Emperor, please pass.
Crap.
Yep.
Yeah, I was really hoping some of my skills would come into play. Uh-oh. So
yeah, well, unfortunately, parrying isn't really up for grabs here. Because that would give a whole bunch, that would open up a whole floodgate of things.
Yeah, like
Right.
Rosalina parrying at 110.
Or me
Jeez.
getting free rerolls on parries.
Yeah.
So kind of starting off, Warner will just kind of thunderous, like he'll kind of put his shield up, kind of brace his shoulder, and kind of just charge at her with his club up and go for like a broad swing.
She'll duck under the arm and slash out the back of his legs.
Which will cause him to kind of stumble a bit.
Lose balance, and
Yeah.
that's score 1 for Rosalina.
Son of an ambull.
You're quicker than I expected.
You're lighter than I expected.
Oh, do I want to... Oh, I don't need to!
Oof. Do you want to spend a fate point on that or not? Because that's quite bad.
No, like I said, it shows that he's used to kind of butting heads against someone who's butting heads against him. He's not used to fighting someone so spindly.
All right. As they set back up, and this time Werner takes a slower, more methodical approach to it. He swings about, attempting to hit Rosalina in the midriff, but every time she blocks with one hand and is able to maneuver her second blade and is able to maneuvers it in such a fashion that she's even able to trip Werner, who falls down and takes 1 point of fatigue. Also, your fatigue should be... Hold on. It should not be 6. It should be 11.
Fair enough.
Your threshold, that is. Sorry. Your current should be 1.
As he takes a hit, he's like, "All right, you're good, but I got one last trick up my sleeve. You ready for this, Rosalina?"
Of course.
With the back of his hand, he'll actually push open the door to the crane cage and let out a loud. No, wait. Yeah, he'll let out
Oh, wow.
he'll let out a sharp whistle.
And Clementine jumps into the training cage.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
So, for the purposes of rules, Clementine adds +1 degree of success, even if you fail. It doesn't give you any bonus, but... Alright. Alexis, roll weapon skill again.
This is match point.
Kneel.
Oh, I thought she was about to use a damn.
Holy crap.
Indeed. With...
Oh, wait, I want to describe this one.
Alright, go for it. It's all yours.
Wait, did Warner actually roll it?
He did. He rolled an
Yeah,
84.
I rolled an 84.
So, the knife that I keep in my boot, I'm going to have both blades in both hands. I'm going to run at both of you, and as the dog comes in to attack, I'm going to take the sword and put it through its collar, making sure not to harm the dog, and stabbing the dog to the ground, while grabbing the other blade to parry yours and put a blade to your neck.
Well, I suppose overconfidence has been my undoing.
Overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
So I've heard. Damn. Must say, I'm impressed.
My normal companion isn't here for sparring. I have yet to
Yeah.
beat her.
Jeez, who's your normal companion?
Her name is Murno.
Oh, cute name. Feudal worlder, maybe.
She's different.
Abhuman.
Let's just go with craft.
She's crafty.
Yes.
As the two of you are wiping sweats from brows, less so Rosalina, Lynn walks into the training area aboard the Oath Unspoken, and she is able to spot Werner and Rosalina chatting in one of the training cages.
I'll go over and approach and say, Inquisitor Lockwood, I've received an encoded message that may be somewhat urgent.
Of course. Let me see it.
I can't exactly show it to you. It's of a...
Proscribed nature?
Yes, a prescribed nature.
Very well.
It would be safer for me to simply translate you the contents.
Very well. And she'll hop out from the cage itself and put the swords away and rip the rip White, which is her force blade, from the dog itself.
Damn it, White.
White with a G.
I know, but it's fun to
Just
say.
As you
I'm
do,
gonna
the
go
dog.
ahead and pass over the book to you now at this point and say, Baltabarius Tarvok left us an encoded message. It seemed he was able to uncode the destination of your quarry, I believe, which would explain how they evaded you before, if they used a ritual to escape before you even came back.
Damn. Even
Yes.
separated, he is helping.
He must have been an invaluable asset. I can only hope I'm half as useful. But regardless, the destination is Angel K78.
Relay this message to the captain.
I will do so immediately. And I'll turn and walk out promptly unless you stop me.
Nope. She will just simply nod her head and give you the sign of the Aquila.
I'll give you a half sign of the Aquila back, and then I'll go find Heresy.
Smart girl.
As the two of you, as Lynn leaves and the two of you are left standing there, you feel the now familiar procedure of the lights flickering and a pressure that you had gotten used to on the inside of your skull abating when the Oath Unspoken breaks warp in the Aventine system.
You'll never fully get used to it.
No, you don't. And at this point, he'll take out his small burlap sack and start putting those small salted seeds in his mouth.
Maybe you don't.
Ha.
Braxis actually doesn't even notice.
He
Hate warp travel.
So, you are not. Once you reach the Aventine system, and Lynn, you go and inform Lord Captain Aristide of Rosalina's next destination. Do you want to roleplay that out, or do you just tell him?
No, I would just tell him, I'd just be like, we have an immediate new destination on the orders of Inquisitor. And then I'd just be like, we're going to the Angel K78 or KZ8 system.
Ah.
I would also state that it's urgent and we should depart as soon as possible.
Strategic value, absolute.
Ah,
Very funny. However, as soon as the Oath Unspoken reaches Aventine proper, far enough, approaches Rosalina in her chambers.
Wait, she's been on our ship this whole time?
She needs to go home.
I don't
You're
know.
her behind.
Where's my gas money?
God damn.
It's not your ship.
I'm
Son.
standing on it. It is my ship.
Anyway, I will...
Anyway, I
I'll
probably
answer
should
the
have
door.
mentioned that earlier, but my bad.
Yeah, I thought we ditched
Rosalina.
her.
Yeah, well, she needed a way to get home, and you were heading to Aventine anyway, so I sorta retconned-ish that she was on the ship. Failed to mention is probably the thing. She
Yeah,
probably
did.
should have asked for a ride.
You're grounded.
I'm just gonna look at her just dumbfounded. Huh, you're here. Well,
I figured you were heading back to Aventine. Just a hunch.
you're correct.
And that means this is goodbye for now. I'll go help Volric with whatever he's dug up, and you can go on to more pressing matters.
Of course. Thank you for your support. Let me
Thank
come
you
in.
for saving me.
Oh. And thank you for not bringing up the way I saved you, or my companion during the interrogation.
Well, there's only a certain radical leaning I'm willing to go past. You just happen to not go that far. She smiles and walks off without another word. So, with that in mind, once Farnav has been gone for some time, there's a knock on your chamber doors, Rosalina.
Don't they know it's time for prayers? Yes,
Do you open up?
of course.
And in the doorway, there's Aristide,
Captain, come on in.
Inquisitor. I really wish to discuss your next location. It is,
Oh, does he actually enter the room?
yes, he does. He comes in and the door closes behind him. The destination that Lynn brought to me, it is worrisome.
How so?
Well, from the looks of it, it is Angel KZ8. The reason it doesn't have a more proper name is because nobody has ever bothered to fully claim it.
And why is that?
Well, there was a time about, when was it? 5 centuries ago, when the Serenas happened upon it. They didn't claim it, even though the planet itself seemed perfectly habitable. The only notes they left were interspersed with suspicion and madness, and that's that.
Superstition keeps you people away from this planet?
Not superstition, more like a feeling.
Stay in orbit. I don't want any of your people on the planet then.
Of course, I didn't expect anything different, but we don't know what's on that planet. We're going into uncharted territory now.
Well, isn't that your job?
It
Rogue
is,
trader?
though if other rogue traders happened upon it and left it for good, let's just say that even though my peers might not be quite as upstanding as I am, they're not idiots.
This planet has you worried.
It does. All I'm saying is, please be careful. I don't know what you're going into.
Of course. We'll keep an open Vox channel for you.
Of course. I'll stand by. And with that, and with Farnoff gone back to Aventine, the ship turns around and breaks back into the warp. Funnily enough, there is a straight line, straight crooked line, along a warp route that goes straight from Aventine and all the way to Angel K78.
Lynn, what are your records on this place?
Roll for me. Actually, do you just want to auto succeed?
I do. Let's auto succeed with 6 degrees of success.
Here we go. That means book time. Very little is known of the Angel KZ-8 system. The only solid descriptions are those logged by the Orica Navigator clan, which fled the Ascalon sector 5 centuries ago, and those scouts from the Serena dynasty briefly examined this system for exploitations. The notes were sparse and interspersed with madness. Most hold the existing information to be unreliable at best, and the product of broken minds and shattered ambitions at worst. What reports appear to agree on is that somewhere about the star system there circles a black armored fortress, bristling with weaponry, its cliff-like slabs encrusted with statues, surmounted by ebon gargoyles, and etched with kilometer after kilometer of spidery text. The fortress appears studded with auger pylons, covered with sensors and probes, all trained intently upon seemingly empty voids trailing the sector. What those silent sentinels might be keeping watch for remains a mystery, as to the identity of the fortress's builders and what might trigger their eventual return. Accounts claim that the fortress is empty, though the machine spirits guiding its countless weapon storage remain vigilant. Silent vacuum gates await their arrival, or perhaps return of its masters.
So this planet has a fortress on it.
Not on it. In orbit. So, as you arrive in Angel KZ, actually, I need to write the name of this thing like I did everywhere else. So I put text, and I'm going to make it like so. Actually, I have to do it like that, and Angel KZ-8. There we go. Boom. And I actually need to point which is which. There we go. So, as the auger scans return the lonely planet that is Angel KZ-8 in the system, and as Lynn did inform you, there does indeed seem to be a large fortress that orbits this planet.
Torvak would have a field day here.
Probably.
However, Inquisitor, the nature of your work probably has you more aware than I. Ghost stories are rarely wrong.
Of course. Did Torvak's notes actually have a destination on the world itself, or just the world?
No, it only said the world itself, and not anywhere else.
Okay.
If I was a Chaos Sardes, where would I summon myself to? And I'm going to say that as I looked at the hololith of the planet.
Unfortunately, the planet itself seems rather devoid of life. There's no ocean on it, and if you needed a modern-day parallel, it's probably the closest to Mars rather than anything. There's some polar ice on it and a very thin atmosphere, but that's about it. Everything else appears to be rock and sand.
I'm going to furrow my brow a little bit, scrunch up my face. I suspect that the site is subterranean.
Or suborbital. And I'll point over to the fortress.
Yes,
Possible.
the fortress sits there, silent as the void. But it seems, but whatever activity is happening on there appears to be automated.
How big is this thing?
Think phalanx?
Oh,
So not destroyable by conventional means.
Not conventional means no, but you can, of course, well, if you were able to ram it into a planet, then it could get destroyed.
hint, hint.
I'm not hinting. I just recently watched the Alexis's reaction for Battlefield Gothic 2 and the trailer for it, where Abaddon throws a Blackstone Fortress into Cadia.
Ram it into the planet is the only way to be sure.
Yeah. Blackstone Fortress from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Parry this, you filthy casual.
Ah, Dunk. To be fair, Alexis has rammed with the phalanx and shouted that exact same thing.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Now, I unfortunately, I made a calculation.
What is he saying? Wait, is everybody going robot?
Oh,
Nope, just me.
no, it was everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, Discord just got shredded.
Huh.
Yeah, okay, it was everyone, and I got disconnected.
Jeez.
So you said unfortunately what?
So, unfortunately, while I was preparing for this session, I seem to have made a slight miscalculation, and I was in my mind, 4 elites was happening in this session, and then it didn't. So that means I don't have the next part of this planet set up.
Wow.
I don't even have a picture for it.
What a butt.
And I think we're going to have to do a slightly shorter session.
I mean, to be honest, I'm okay with that.
I'm alright with that as well.
Yeah? Is that okay? Because
It's okay.
I did kind of just... So, for the upcoming plot, I did just pick a unknown planet at random. So,
Yeah.
that's... Yes. So if anyone who's interested in a little peek behind the GM screen, there was a list of planets that was open to me, and I picked this one.
Nice.
Yeah. So, what is on the surface of this planet? What is inside this watch fortress? And
Oh wow, it's a watch
Rosalina-
fortress.
I mean, it's got a bunch of auger sensors on it. It's kind of, it's watching, like it said in the book, it's watching the trailing end of the empty void of the sector. That's kind of, it's a fortress that watches. But who watches the watch fortress?
The Death Watch.
Yeah.
Gee, I
So-
wonder if we're gonna run into the Death Watch.
We'll see.
I guess I'm next game.
Well,
Alrighty. Sorry everyone for the short episode. My Victor is a butt as usual.
hey.
Yep,
That's
I am
uncalled for.
definitely throwing him under the bus for
Uncalled
this.
for? I'll throw you under a butt.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this short episode, the introduction to Season 8 of Queen's Court, and possibly the final season. So, with that all said, thank you everybody. Love you guys. Bye.